Welcome to Unit 14's Understanding Place Value to Add and Subtract. This video will focus on subtracting multiples of 10. You have already added multiples of 10 in Unit 11, and so this unit, you've already, within this unit as well, you've added a 2-digit plus a 1-digit, and now you're going to work with subtracting multiples of 10. Keep in mind, for adding, that's the only part where you do a 2-digit plus a 1-digit, like 23 plus 6 or 57 plus 5. You do not do that with subtraction. You only keep it multiples of 10 that you're adding to a 2-digit number or subtracting multiples of 10 from 10. And we're going to model that for you right now. So please make sure you've watched the other videos. So here we have 87 minus 10. So one way you could think of this is have the students go ahead and take away one whole group of 10 here, but then they have to realize that that's going to be pushed up to show you that 87 minus 10 is 77. Another way that you could have the students think of this is to think of, let's make a group of 10, and so I know I have 7 here, and I would need 3 more of these to make a 10, to subtract 10, and then that would leave me with 77. Another way that you could progress through this is to, by the time they start recognizing the patterns of what happens to the digit in my ones place versus the digit in my tens place when I'm adding or subtracting 10. And so for subtracting 10, if I'm at 87 and I subtract 10, at some point we hope students realize that they don't have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way minus 10, that they just know that you're basically moving up on the chart because you're taking away, so you're getting to a smaller number. So 87 minus 10 would give me 77. You could also do that if you're thinking of 80 minus 50. You could say I'm at 80 and I'm going to take away 50. So I'm going to take away one group of 10, 2, 3 tens, 4 tens, 5 tens, which would take me to 30. You would not want them counting every group of 10, 50 ones just to get to subtract 5 tens. All right, now we're going to look at 80 minus 50 with our tens chart here. So our tens and our ones, you can see I have 8 tens, and I'm going to take away 3 tens. So I'm going to take away one set of 10, a second set of 10, and a third set of 10, which will leave, and then a fourth set of 10, and my fifth set of 10, which would leave me with 3 tens, which is 30. Now, as students have that tenness, you can graduate them to the base 10 blocks, and you can see that we have 80 minus 50 here. So I could take away 5 tens, which would be 1 10, 2 tens, 3 tens, 4 tens, 5 tens, and you can see that I would have a difference of 3 tens, which is 30. You can also use the number bond here. When you're using a number bond, this is like a part whole as well. This would be your whole in your 2 parts. Not only do you want them to see it this way, but you also want to orient them to be able to see it this way as well. So if I have 80, so that's 8 tens, and I know that what makes 80, as I think of addition, would be I've got 5 tens plus something. Well, that would be my 3 tens. That is one way that they could look at that. You also have your regular part whole map. So if I think of, one way to think of this is that I've got 50 plus what is going to give me 80 if I think of it as addition. So that's 5 tens plus I would need 3 more tens, and together my whole would be 80. So the 3 here would be the part for that, the 3 tens. So as we move more to a pictorial model, looking at the 10 frames here. So I've got 8 10 frames, and I want to take away 5 of those because that's 5 tens. So 1, 2 tens, 3 tens, 4 tens, 5 tens, which would leave me with a difference of 3 tens, which is 30. As students begin moving to drawing and representing this on their own without the models or pictures, I would have 8 tens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tens, 6, 7, 8. I want to get rid of 3 of those, so that's 5 of those, sorry. Getting rid of 1 10, 2 tens, 3 tens, 4 tens, 5 tens, which would leave me with 3 tens, which is 30. Not only do we want students to see this written horizontally, but also vertically. And so you can see that I have that there. Once again, this is not about them just saying 0 minus 0 is 0, 8 minus 5 is 3, because once again, that's a 8 tens minus 5 tens. But we want to go back to, they can visualize the hundreds chart. They can imagine they are on 80. They can subtract 5 sets of 10s, which would get them to 30, or they could draw their base 10 blocks, and they could get rid of 5 of these 10s, which would leave you with a difference of 30.